saw that I just opened up all of the holes. Now I'm going to just drop my pearl in. Now I purposely did leave some a little gappy so you can see how easy pearl is to fix up. I'm trying to make this look I'm trying to just show a couple areas that you would probably, had you never inlaid pearl before, what you could expect to see. But you can actually see if you do this right, the lines will get very tight. And I do teach people how to inlay. And most people, the most common mistake that they do is they don't take the line, and then they can't get things to drop in the way they feel they should. And then if they may take too much, they have a gap, and then they think because they have a gap it's not going to work. So like I said, I purposely left some of this a little on the strong side so you can see how to fix little mistakes. Now, if you look real closely, this represents what would happen if you didn't set your depth cutter. Now I have a thin piece of pearl here. You can see how it's dropped down in. So what you do is you just take this out, and you can just grab some of the dirt. And we're going to let that fill in. Now I'm trying not to fill this so full of dust that I create a bed of dust that will come near the edge. I don't want, when I put my pearl in, I really don't want the dust and the super glue to mix. Roll over there, buddy. Now, there's just enough dust in there so I can get this reasonably flush to my top of the line of the pearl from the fingerboard. Here you can see I left a little, made it a little gappy. Here you can see the pearl isn't sitting dead square. Here you can see I have 3 good lines, 1 open. That's about the way it should look. And again here, just typical minor flaws. Nothing to get really upset about. This is the key when you're working with ebony. This is what's going to make this whole process so forgiving. And I don't care if I get some of the magic marker on the ebony. Now, you should be able to see that all of the pearl has some magic marker to it. I take the activator. Now the activator will actually dissolve the medium from this and just leave the lamp black on the pearl. When I take the super glue and I put the super glue on here, that's going to mix with that lamp black, and that lamp black is going to make my super glue kind of like a grayish charcoal color, but it's translucent. This will pick up the actual wood color, let it reflect through, and it actually will make this fill almost virtually invisible. Now, I don't like this particular nozzle for doing this. I want to have something very finite and controllable. Now here's a little handy hint. I think I've shown this in the past. You take pipettes, a match, and you can actually melt these and make these extremely pointy for very specific tasks. In this case, for putting super glue exactly where I need it, when I need it, and you hold that over the match. You can see it starts getting soft. Gently blow on it. Let it harden. Take a razor blade or a pocket knife. Cut that off. And you can see you have a nice, very sharp, very controllable, precise way to put super glue where you need it. If I flood this with super glue too quick, I can move my pearl. I don't want my pearl to move. But you can also use these little pipette tricks. As a pipette gets used up and this fouls up, you can just keep melting your way back. For those of you that are real cheap. You can also take this piece that we cut off. This is another thing I found. So it's a double trick. Cut away that. Take this. You can stick it on there. Now you also have, you can use either one. And since this is all ready to go, I can use this. Alright, we've done the applicator. We've given it the accelerator. Now we're going to put the glue in. The key to gluing this is not flooding it, flowing it. You just want the super glue to come out nice and controlled. And what I'm doing as the glue's coming in, I'm just kind of working it around on that black. Here where it's really loose, I'm going to go right to a little opening. Let it flood in. Here where we're high, again, go to an opening, let it flood. And I'm constantly making sure that when that super glue hits, I hit the black. And you notice I'm just letting it flow. I'm not glopping it on there. Now I'm going to let that sit just a little bit before I hit it with activator. Because when you hit it with activator, it will cause a reaction and super glue can foam up. And here, I'll show you exactly what can happen. When you take super glue, you find something nice and dark. Here we go. If you take super glue and you hit it with activator right away, you can see how it reacts. That you don't want. You want to give the super glue a couple of seconds to start curing on its own. Then you hit it with the activator. You'll get a much cleaner, much prettier, and more invisible joint. Now I can take a look at all my super glue is cured. Everything's full. And if you give me a second, I'm going to go to the sander. I'm going to sand the super glue off. Hit this with a little bit of 4/0 steel wool, and you'll get to see just how invisible and how clean that pearl line is going to look against the ebony.